Most leaders think accountability is about catching people when they fail. They set up systems to monitor performance, track deadlines, and dole out consequences. But here's the uncomfortable truth: that approach is exactly why your team lacks accountability. You're creating a culture of fear, not ownership. The real problem isn't your team's unwillingness to take responsibility, it's that leaders often build systems that actively discourage it. We focus on blame instead of clarity, on punishment instead of support. Today, we're flipping that script. We'll move from a culture of blame to one built on 3 core pillars: unambiguous expectations, a system for real-time feedback, and genuine psychological safety. By the end of this, you'll have a framework to build a team that holds itself accountable, driving performance without the need for constant micromanagement. If you're new here, please subscribe and like, because I share tips to help you improve your career. Vague goals are the silent killer of accountability. When you tell someone to do their best or increase sales, you're giving them an escape route. There's no clear finish line, so there's no clear failure. They can always claim they did their best, and you have no objective way to prove otherwise. This ambiguity guarantees failure because it allows people to fall short without any real consequence. The fix requires moving from fuzzy directives to crystal clear expectations. Let's break down the anatomy of a truly clear expectation. I use a simple framework: specific, measurable, and owned. It's like SMART goals but stripped down for executive effectiveness. Specific means the outcome is defined without wiggle room. Instead of improve customer satisfaction, it's increase our net promoter score from 30 to 40. Measurable means you have a number or a clear yes/no outcome. You can track progress objectively. Owned is the most critical part. One person must be unequivocally responsible for the result. Not a committee, not a department, one named individual. This eliminates the diffusion of responsibility that plagues so many teams. This clarity leads to what I call the accountability handoff. It's a specific moment in a meeting or a one-on-one where you, as the leader, clearly delegate the what, the specific, measurable outcome, and the who. The team member's role is to accept ownership and determine the how. This handoff is a contract. It signals that the leader trusts the employee with the outcome, and the employee commits to delivering it. Without this clarity, you're setting everyone up for frustration. But clear goals alone aren't enough. They're just the foundation. They mean nothing without the next pillar, which brings those goals to life. Most companies have a system for evaluation. Annual reviews, quarterly business reviews, they're all lagging indicators. They tell you what went wrong long after it's too late to fix it. This is punitive feedback. It's about judging past performance. What you need is a system for leading feedback, real-time, ongoing input that helps people course correct while they're still in the race. The difference is between a coroner's report and a coach's halftime talk. One dissects a failure, the other prevents it. To build this, you need to structure regular, low-stakes check-ins. I recommend a brief, 15-minute weekly check-in with key team members focused solely on the goals you set in Pillar 1. The agenda is simple. Use the what's working, what's blocking framework. Start by asking, what's working? Celebrate progress and identify successful tactics. Then, and more importantly, ask, what's blocking your progress? This shifts the conversation from "did you do it?" to "what do you need to succeed?" The goal is to uncover obstacles, whether they're resource constraints, unclear priorities, or skill gaps, so you can remove them as a leader. This process makes course correction a normal, low-stakes part of the workflow. When a check-in reveals a project is off track, the response shouldn't be "why are you failing?" It should be "what part of the system broke down?" Do you need different resources? Is the goal still realistic? You normalize the act of raising a red flag. The check-in becomes a safe space to report problems early when they're small and fixable. This is how you create accountability during the process, not just at the end. But here's the catch. Even with clear goals and a great feedback system, this entire structure collapses without the final, most important pillar. People will not step up and be transparent about their blockers if they don't feel safe. If you're finding this helpful, please subscribe and like because it helps us create content that matters to you. Also, if you want to take your skills further, check out our executive education and executive coaching programs at execbeat.com. Fear of failure is the single biggest killer of accountability. If your team is afraid that a mistake will be a career ender, they will hide problems, blame others, and avoid risky but necessary initiatives. They'll prioritize covering their tracks over achieving results. Psychological safety isn't about being nice, it's about creating an environment where candor is rewarded and failure is treated as data, not a character flaw. Your role as a leader is to make it safe to fail. How you respond to mistakes sets the tone for your entire team. The instinct to ask whose fault is this is natural but destructive. Instead, adopt a mindset of curiosity. Use a technique like the 5 whys to conduct a root cause analysis. When a project misses a deadline, don't start with the person. Start with the process. Ask, why did we miss the deadline? The answer might be the final approval took too long. Then ask, why did the approval take too long? This line of questioning shifts the focus from who did this to why did our system allow this to happen? You're fixing the machine, not blaming the operator. This approach empowers your team to flag problems early. You need to actively reward the messenger. When an employee comes to you and says, "I think I made a mistake," or "I've hit a wall," your first response should be, "Thank you for bringing this to my attention." Turn them into a hero for their honesty. Publicly acknowledge that spotting a problem early saved the team significant time and resources. This signals to everyone that transparency is valued above perfection. When people feel safe to be vulnerable about their challenges, you get the truth while there's still time to act. This final pillar is the glue that holds the first two together. Without safety, clear expectations feel like traps, and feedback feels like an interrogation. So how do you put this into practice starting today? Your first action should be to implement a mandatory weekly team check-in. This isn't a status update meeting. Its sole purpose is to review the specific, measurable, and owned goals from Pillar 1 using a what's working, what's blocking framework from Pillar 2. Keep it to 30 minutes. Go around the room and have each person briefly share their one key win and their one biggest blocker. This ritualizes the process and makes accountability a team sport, not a solitary burden. Concurrently, you must reframe your language. This is a conscious effort. You need to audit your own questions. Every time you feel the urge to ask, "Why didn't this happen?" stop yourself. Replace it with "What's blocking progress?" or "What did we learn from this outcome?" This subtle shift moves you from a judge to a coach. It tells your team you're invested in their success, not just in assigning blame. In your first 30 days, the tangible result you're aiming for isn't perfection, it's a change in the conversation. You should hear more problems earlier and see a greater willingness to tackle difficult challenges. Your key takeaway is this: accountability is built through deliberate system design and trust, not demanded through authority. Your call to action is to share one insight from this video in the comments and subscribe to ExecBeat for more frameworks that help you lead effectively. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like because it helps us bring you more free videos. And if you're ready to grow your career, visit execbeat.com to learn about our executive education and coaching.